Everybody. Hopefully this video will go better than the last one that I've made. I have annoyingly made like 3 or 4 different videos this week for our live stream, and I seem to be having some issues with the internet and with my sound, so I'm so sorry for the disruption with that. I keep trying, but I just wanted to really quickly kind of go over everything one more time in hopes that this video will have sound and work and all of that. So I'm going to kind of go over what we have going on this week. Remember that we talked all about week 7 last week in our live stream, and we are currently in week number 8. And our class officially ends tomorrow night at 11:59 p.m. So I know that's a little different than normal, but our class does end Friday night, which is March 1st at 11:59 p.m. So please make sure that you get everything in by that deadline. It will feel awful for you if you email me on Saturday or Sunday, but at that point, everything will have closed and it will unfortunately be too late. So please just try and be really, really mindful of that. Get going on everything from this week if you haven't already. A lot of you have submitted a lot of stuff, so hopefully everyone is on it. But for this week, we have kind of our usual format of 2 chapters and 2 discussions. We also have an exam and then a closing assignment. So as always, you'll want to make sure that you read chapters 15 and 16 in the textbook. You'll want to read through my lecture and click on any links, watch any videos that are in there, and then of course watch the lecture video and consider taking notes as that stuff will appear on the exam. You have 2 discussions that you're doing for this week, like usual. So you have my instructions up here at the top and my video, like you've hopefully become accustomed to seeing every week. For this discussion number 15, you're looking at some stereotypes of therapy that you hold or have seen, how you would describe the stereotypical therapist, what might they say, what might they do, what are some things that they might be in the room, their gender, appearance, age, all that kind of stuff. And then the biggest thing for this one is this last bullet here, where you are going to write about if you were to ever consider going to therapy, which 2 of the therapeutic approaches would be your top choices and why. And this can be from the textbook or from this great website that I found down here. But what you're going to do is you're going to pick a specific type of therapy, and then I'd like you to give me like their goal and what is a specific technique that they would use. And make sure you're really describing this and showing me that you understand both of those things. That's where the bulk of your points are going to come from. So really spend some time on this last bullet. And if you are in therapy, you could write about that already. And if you aren't or have never considered it, this is your opportunity to think about that a little bit more. For discussion number 16, we're looking at social psychology, the last topic that we cover for our class together. And again, instructions and video, like always. And so for this one, you're going to perform 3 random acts of kindness or altruism. These ideally should be unplanned and kind of random, but it's up to you. And they can be kind of small or they can be bigger depending on your situation and your comfort level. These could be with strangers out in the world, or it can be with people that you live with if that's easier. But you're going to describe what you did and what were the reactions on their side and on your side. You're also going to describe a time when you were the victim of prejudice or discrimination, which could be based on anything from age, race, ethnicity, orientation, gender, religion, ability, or other. And if you have never been a victim of either of those things, you're definitely in the minority, but you could write about somebody that you know who's been a victim of either of those things, or you could even describe an example from the media if you don't have anyone in your life that you can connect with on that. But please don't skip it. You can always give me an example from somebody else if you don't have one in your life. And then what are some strategies that you can employ to help reduce prejudice and discrimination? Don't forget to also reply to a classmate for both of these to get those very easy 2 points. Last 2 discussions of our class, which has gone so quickly. You also have an exam this week, exam number 4. The 4th exam is just a 4th exam. It is the final technically, but it's just on chapters 13, 14, 15, and 16. So as always, you're going to want to make sure you know all of the terms on the study guide. If it's not on here, you don't need to worry about it. If it is on here, make sure you know it. And as I've recommended several times, you might consider writing or typing these out and having it in front of you. Make sure that you study and prepare, that you have 75 minutes to take the exam and a quiet place and good internet to do so. Also remember, again, I will mention this probably like 3 more times. The class ends tomorrow night, Friday, March 1st at 11:59 p.m. So please make sure you complete it by that date. The ebook site does close, so you will not be able to do it after that. So just please keep that in mind as you're taking the exam or planning on when you're going to take it. Finally, there is a closing assignment that is due. And my goal with this is to kind of get you to think back over the course of our class and semester, and what can you take away and apply to your life? And so what I've given you here is a little sample submission, a concept list, and then the instructions and the assignment itself. And so you're going to think back over all the topics we've covered. And I gave you a list here if that might help you out a little bit since we covered so many things. Here are all of the kind of big topics that we've covered over the course of our class. So you're going to pick 5 different things that are on here, and you're going to define them, and then you're going to talk about how you could apply it to your life in some way. And this isn't necessarily a traditional paper. Let me show you what the sample submission looks like. I'd like you to follow this format where you're giving me kind of 5 separate chunks of information. So for example, what is your term, your definition, and then your application. And then you'll do that for the next one and the next one. Each one is worth 5 points and so on. So these should be something that maybe stood out to you or impacted you, or you were like, oh, I could use that, or that makes sense of something in your life. The biggest thing I'm looking for here is that you can explain how you could apply it. The definition can easily be copied and pasted from the textbook or whatnot. The application piece is really the big part. So when you're ready to do this, and a lot of you have done it already, you'll click on the instructions right here, and then you can upload your file right here where it says start assignment. And all the instructions are here. Again, we're 25 points, so more than a discussion, looking for 5 different terms or concepts, and then how you could apply them to your life in some way. I think it's a great opportunity to kind of reflect back, and it allows me to not give you a cumulative final. And I have always thought cumulative finals are the worst. So hopefully that is better. So make sure you submit that. The only other thing that I have on here this week, there is a little anonymous closing class survey. So as we end and wrap up this class, if you have any suggestions for me about how I can make this class better, or things that you really loved, this is a chance for you to share that with me, with it being anonymous. So I will have no idea who said what. So please feel free to share what you liked or maybe could be better. I'm always trying to improve. And then there is one last Twitch extra credit. And I gave this in the other videos, but let me give it one more time here. So the question for this week is right here. I'll kind of make it a little bigger here. If someone had a phobia of heights, what are 2 methods that could be used for treatment? And make sure you explain. So if someone had a phobia or a fear of heights, what are 2 different methods that could be used for treatment? And make sure you explain. And as always, you'll answer that right here under the week's Twitch extra credit link. So you'll click on that. You can click on start your attempt or new attempt at the top, and then you'll type your response and hit submit to get confetti and thumbs up. So make sure you do that extra credit to get those last 2 points. If you're interested, make sure that you get going on the exam, on the closing assignment, the discussions, all that kind of stuff. Thank you all so much for a wonderful 8-week class that we've had together. I really appreciate all of you who joined me every week on our Twitch live streams, or watch them even later if you couldn't make it live. I'm really glad so many of you utilized that. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, wonderful rest of your semester. We have some rain coming tonight, which I'm excited about. But hang in there. And if you have any questions or anything I can answer, please feel free to reach out. And one last time, remember that our class officially ends tomorrow night, Friday, March 1st at 11:59 p.m. All right, thank you so much, everyone. Hopefully this video was successful, and I will hope you all have a wonderful week.